Well, what about campaign finance reform? As an independent Vermont, could we have real campaign finance reform?
Sure. I'll tell you what my bias is. How you fix representative democracy. Look at how we choose juries and how Western cultures have chosen juries for 700 years, and in this country for 200 years, better than 200. How do we choose juries? Now, juries, let's remember, 12 people, usually, who have to sit in a courtroom and listen to perhaps 2, perhaps 12 attorneys doing their best to fuzz up the thing or make it look like this or make it look like that. 12 ordinary people. How do we choose them? We have a list of everybody in the community. It's usually taken from driver's records or something. And they're chosen by lot. And 12 people chosen by lot, names out of a hat, are expected to, and they do, sit in courtrooms and evaluate very complex fact situations, heart-rending, terrible personal situations, science issues, law issues, very complex arguments, and they are expected to render a judgment, and they do, and by and large, they get it right. That's how we should choose our legislators. The problem is you have to change the law and the Constitution to get there. You and I can talk about campaign finance reform. We can talk about term limits. We can talk about all those kinds of things, but it's just talk. Terry, lawmakers, and only lawmakers, make law. The present lawmakers are all there because they got the money coming in, they have the power, and they're not going to write a law that kicks themselves out of office, period. Don't wait for that. That's never going to happen. So we got to win that legislature ourselves and take those seats ourselves one time. And the first thing we do before anything else is straighten out how we choose all legislators for the next 1,000 years. And we choose them by pulling their names out of the hat and saying, you folks are the legislature for the next 2 years.
So there would be no campaigns?
They can campaign if they want to, but why would they?
There would be no voting. It would just be a random selection.
Choose them. Pick them. Right out of a hat. Random selection. That's government by, for, and of the people. And until you get there, it ain't. It becomes encrusted with power seekers and greed mongers and ego maniacs. That's what we have. That's exactly what we have. But you got to beat them once at their game to take the damn seats. We got to beat them once.
That's a very interesting idea. And eventually, everybody would get a chance to be in the legislature because the luck of the draw.
Yeah, it's a draft.
Yeah.
And you pay them very well. You know, I think you pay people. Jurors don't get much pay. But, you know, I think you should pay them well because you're taking somebody out of a life, literally. I mean, out of a business, out of a life. You know, and you're saying you've got to do public duty for 2 years. So I think you pay them really well. Also, that keeps the bribery problem down. You know, because just because they're a regular citizen and they're there, if they're suffering in the money department, they're suffering back home because they're there, they're vulnerable to bribes. So you pay them, at least make them whole for exactly what they earn now. Whatever it is they earn, we don't care what it is. If it's a rich person and they got a lot of income, that's what you pay that guy. If it's somebody who doesn't, you pay what he needs. You pay what he's got to have to keep himself whole. So you don't fool with that.
I think I would
that.
disagree with you on that.
I'm sure you would. I knew you would before I said it.
We have a citizen legislature now. For instance, Howard Dean, he practiced medicine while at the same time he was lieutenant governor. And
Yes, Howard.
David Zuckerman runs going farm at the same time he's in the legislature.
Yeah, because it's part-time. The legislature's part-time.
So I would think that the compensation should be like that, so that.
Well, again, I'm not sure we really do disagree. I'm saying pay people well, don't hurt them. You shouldn't have to be hurt to do your public duty for a year or two. So however you want to organize.
If we made it 1 year, that would be less painful than 2 years.
It would.
It would also be more equitable because more people would be.
Yep. And you probably want, but you don't want to bring in totally fresh people every year. You probably need to stagger that. You probably want 2 years of service, and half of them each year would be replaced. So you've always got some people there with a little, who know where the bathroom is and know who the agriculture staff people are and how to work in that. It doesn't make sense to go completely nude that way. But a short period of time and more people in it.
It seems to me that I did read somewhere that there was there were historical precedents for that.
Ancient Greece was operated that way, and it's not the only one. I don't know. I don't think the Romans did that, but the Greeks
They did have elections, though, in ancient Greece, too.
Yes, they did that, too. And I'm not saying we wouldn't have some elections. I'm just saying that for legislators, which is what I say, that's where the real power is. That's where it is.
So the governor would be elected, and the legislatures could be.
I'm open to that idea. I'm open to electing that guy, but then he becomes maybe stronger than you want him to be. I'm not sure, but I know that the people that make laws, I want to draw the name out of the hat. And I'm very comfortable with that. But you'd also need, you need to pay them well so they're not hurt. They don't have to sacrifice to do it, or whatever that takes. And two, you would still need to control the outside bribery opportunities coming in from lobbyists and corporations, and the attempt to suborn representatives, which of course happens every day now. So you would, in addition to paying people fairly, choosing them at random, paying them fairly, you'd need extremely draconian laws against any bribe, any influence selling, any influence peddling, any throwing your vote. And you're in jail a long time. You need that too. So it needs to be very fair, and we need to get money out of public discussion as money. It has no right. Money, capital, accumulated wealth has absolutely nothing to do with anybody's intelligence or wisdom or decency. We need to get it out of politics. People say you can't. I say you can. You can.
That's one thing they do teach the students in high school. Democracy means one person, one vote. The only thing that they don't teach them is that what we really have in America is $1, one vote.
Yeah, just about. Yeah. 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 I mean, it's just nonsense. You can't run a country this way, and we are proving it.
We're pretty much running out of time now. Do you have a website? The election is on November 2nd, and I would urge everyone in Rutland County to vote for Dennis. And if you're in Chittenden County, you can vote for me for the state senate.
Good.
Do you have a website, Dennis?
Actually, the common website for all of us is Senate 30, Senate30.com. That's got us all there. And then from there, individual websites, everybody's got their own. Mine is the number 2, LT, that means second lieutenant, 2LT Morrisseau.com. 2ltmorrisseau.com, Morrisseau.
And that's written at the bottom of the screen here. And
Oh, it is?
my website is http://www.uvm.edu/tilde RJEROLOM, and that will bring you to my campaign website.
See how much more complicated his is than mine?
Well, Dennis, I want to thank you for coming,
Thank you, Terry, for having me.
and you can
Always a
count on
pleasure.
my vote.
Yes, and I'll tell everybody I still know, and I still know a ton of them up here, that they better vote for you.
Thank you. And for the people at home, I'll be back again next month with another edition of Vermont Today. Thank you for tuning in.